ever play under the rain as a child? I love rain shower, even until now. So I will go under the waterfall and take a bath or jump into the lake. Nature has provided me with a sense of safety and home as my foundation of who I am and my chosen profession. So, I love the feelings of freedom when I jump into the lake and the natural cleansing when I'm stressed out. And I use natural way of cleansing. And, the water can be a way of self-healing technique when we are overwhelmed with strong feelings. So I go to the cold shower when I'm stressed out, especially I'm experiencing anger, threat, and exhaustion. As we all know, nature holds a strong power. Nature is very powerful. It holds the power to heal, as well as it brings the collective trauma after natural disaster. I have listened to many people share their stories that they feel betrayed by the nature after natural disaster. We feel small and helpless when the earth is shaking during the earthquake. And also, we feel helpless, especially when the waves are as high as the building during the tsunami. Or it feels like end of the world when the wildfire is coming to us, and we can see that. And these feelings of fears, strong reaction to grief and loss, and the anger of why this happened to me, and the bargaining of why me. These are the natural response to trauma after natural disaster. So as a mental health profession and therapist, I have witnesses two communities that I love were affected and destroyed by natural disaster. In 2023, on a windy night in August 2023, in Hawaii, especially in Maui, there was a strong wind reached to 67 miles per hour. I remember that night vividly. My house shook. I was terrified. I couldn't sleep. And then when I wake up next morning, I learned that Maui wildfire wiped out the whole community of historical town Lahaina. We witnessed the whole town turn into ashes. We lost 102 people and 4,000 homes were destroyed. So even after 2 years later in 2025, I visited Lahaina last month, and you can still smell the smoke from the ground, which haunts me, and it makes me feel sad and overwhelmed when I see these community members are, cleaning their ground to rebuild the community. And these natural disasters, not only when we are losing homes and shelters, we're losing our psychological safety and reconnecting to the nature. And when I starting to feel overwhelmed with these strong emotions, seeing that the community I love were displaced, I have to take a moment, go back to my car, take a deep breath, in and out of my nose, take a sip of water, and then feel the sun, the warmth of the sun on my skin as my breath becomes slower. And I use this grounding technique when I am experiencing strong emotions. So this is a grounding technique you can use when you're overwhelmed with, strong emotions. So, after this wildfire, and as a community, in the community, when I see these community being displaced, it triggered me my own personal experience of being displaced as a stateless person in Thailand. My family and I escaped Myanmar military cross the border to seek refuge in Thailand. I lost my citizenship in Myanmar and became undocumented in Thailand. That's how I became stateless. Millions of Myanmar people are becoming stateless due to the war and ongoing war and conflict in Myanmar. So I have seen and experienced collective trauma firsthand. So this is my family when we were living in Minnesota, as stateless people. And in 2025, March, as you may know, my beloved country, Myanmar, experienced 7.4 magnitude earthquake. It killed nearly 4,000 people and destroyed 10,000 homes. When we lost homes and shelter, again, it's not just a physical loss. We also lose the dignity as human being, psychological safety. So when we rebuild communities, we need to rebuild the psychological safeties as well. So when we are, experiencing these collective trauma, we may be experiencing fear of losing our loved ones, and you may not even feel safe to go outside of the house, walk on the ground after the earthquake, because your body remember, the shakiness and also being trapped in that dark. And also, after the wildfire, you may cling onto your loved ones when you are also mourning at the same time of losing your friends, family, your pets, wildlife to the fire. So these are natural emotional response. And when we are rebuilding these community, it's sometimes we don't really realize that these trauma are trapped in our body because we're just trying to survive. And when you are experiencing trauma, it may show up in your dream as nightmare, difficult time concentrating, flashback, and problems in relationship. And we don't know what to do. We feel trapped. Have you ever felt this way? If that happened to you, the best thing you can do is to seek professional assistance from qualified mental health professions. As a survivor of trauma, I seek for mental health services, and I also work out with constant self-care, getting mental health services from professions, reconnecting with safe people from my community, and also giving back to my community. That's really helped. And as a mental health leader, I work with community members, community leaders, and stakeholders to restore hope and dignity, and also building the stronger communities. Because, after we go through trauma, we're not the same. Sometimes, these community practices that we do that in the communities are effective as the group, as the community. So when the way we are building the community is quite unique, especially coming from the mental health perspective. So we provide weekly support group to the communities that are affected by the earthquake and the ongoing war and conflict in Myanmar. At Jue Jue Safe Space, the mental health organization that I register for the Myanmar people, we provide 24/7 suicide helpline for these Myanmar communities who are struggling with mental health crisis. So, when we work with the community members, they also report us. I met a woman who lived in the active war zone, and during the airstrike, she explained that to me. The grounding technique you teach us, that's really helpful. I use it during the airstrike. So these mental health practices can help us overcome trauma and rebuild resilience in yourself and in the community. So when we are building these community, it is important to work together and taking care of our body and our mind by reconnecting with nature because we felt like nature betrayed us. So to rebuild the relationship and repair the connection with nature, we need to build trust and also, building these trust with a mutual respect. We need to respect the nature. At the same time, when we respect and rebuild the nature, it will help us heal as well. So that would be the most sustainable way that we can preserve the nature. As human beings, we are fragile when struck by nature, and we need time to heal, empathy, and protection. Don't you think nature needs the same from us too? So, when you leave here today, I invite you to enjoy the nature by walking on the grass barefoot, pick up the trash if you see it on the ground, and at the community level, we can organize street and park cleaning as the collective healing initiatives. And when we come as a community to reflect and restore hope together, it is a part of community healing. So when we are restoring hope and dignity in ourselves and in the community, it's important that we work together. And as I am healing in my own journey, like I said, I work with the mental health professions, also, providing support for my community. I began to heal, and I no longer react to my trauma as I once did. So when we're starting to take care of ourselves and when we're taking care of the nature, it works as an ecoharmony that we restore harmony within us, in the community, and in the nature. So when we are experiencing stress and, when we're experiencing stress and overwhelming, if we spend some time in the nature, it can increase the power of our brain activities. And there's a research shown by Dr. Hillman from University of Illinois. And if we spend at least even 20 minutes in the nature, it can increase and reconnect with our body. So I would encourage you to do that. And the reason we are seeing this is not only in our body. I have seen the evidence of healing, it's also in the nature. And this is a banyan tree, 150 years old banyan tree. Is reliving in Hawaii, in Maui. When I saw this tree in the nature reliving with all these new leaves, it's a symbol of post-traumatic growth. I see the healing in the nature and in me and in the community. When we start taking care of ourselves, we do the same thing, returning the healing process in the nature. So let's take care of ourselves. Let's take care of the nature. Thank you.